What is up, my friend? It's your boy, Khalil here. And today I wanted to talk to you about how to turn resentment into gratitude. I'm going to tell you a story. So, at this time last year, I was in a relationship with somebody, and it was probably the most painful relationship that I've had, to be completely honest with you. I've had many long-term relationships, including a marriage that turned into a divorce. So, I know the game. I know the game. But this relationship last year was extra painful for me because it was rubbing up against my gender dysphoria. And this person had been non-monogamous ethically for about 7 years before we got together. Whereas I had never had, a relationship where I was in love with someone that had been non-monogamous. I was open to the concept. And within the structure of this specific relationship with this person, we were monogamous. But just knowing that, he had been non-monogamous for so long, and knowing that generally he didn't like to be monogamous with one person for more than 2 years before opening up the relationship, for me, that triggered me so hard. It was so fucking painful. It brought up so much inside of me. And I processed a lot in that relationship, a lot of grief and fear. And I thought it was jealousy, right? I thought that I was jealous and that that's what was so deeply triggering for me. Until I realized that what was really, truly coming up for me was gender dysphoria. It made me so terrified to imagine that my partner would compare me with a woman, right? It was just so extremely triggering. And because of the depth of pain, the depth of gender dysphoria that I experienced and processed in that relationship, it became the catalyst for me to start my medical transition. I am now happier, more grounded, and more clear in my life than I have ever been, thanks to the steps I have taken to medically transition and masculinize. So, when I look back on this relationship, I can look back and feel this resentment and this anger and this fear, right? And all these difficult emotions that were present in my body throughout the relationship. Or I can look back on this relationship and be so deeply grateful, so grateful that the pain of the relationship pushed me to become my own most authentic version of myself. This is how we turn resentment into gratitude. When you look back on any part of your life that has caused you to feel resentment, maybe it's just like you feel like somebody wronged you, or maybe you're resentful with yourself. You feel like you made a huge mistake. We can look back on these times and these moments in our life and see the blossoms that came from the difficulty. We can look back on these moments in our life and see how it pushed us to become our own best version, our next greatest iteration, pushed us to evolve ourselves into who we are now. So I invite you in this moment to think of one specific circumstance or relationship or situation where you feel a sense of resentment, or there's this shadow of blame that exists within your psyche when you think about the specific person or situation or mistake that you may have made. I offer you to reflect and look at it and see what it gave you that you are benefiting from to this day. What blessings came out of this sticky situation? And how is it serving you? Who would you be without the growth from that situation? Would you be as authentic and as resilient and as strong and as clear as you are today? Will you have as much clarity about what you want and what you don't want, about where your boundaries lie? Probably not, right? And so it's good to just be aware of these things and allow ourselves to grow and reframe our mindsets. Allow ourselves to expand from these old places that we might not have revisited, right? And often time heals all, right? So as we go about on our healing journeys, healing from these difficult situations in our lives, sometimes we forget to go back and to visit them and to revisit them and reframe how we understand the situations that we have grown through. So this is your opportunity, my loved one, to go on back and see how you have been served by the situations in your life that you may have felt resentment about previously. Let me know if this is landing for you. Let me know what's coming up for you. Is it a relationship? Is there another circumstance that this is bringing up for you? I just wanted to share this gem because it's been so healing for me to look back on that relationship, which was like really fucking hard for me, really painful. And to go, wow, I am so grateful now that I actually went through that. Because I probably wouldn't have taken, the hard steps and made the difficult choice to medically transition if it wasn't for the acuteness of pain in that relationship. So although I've had moments of resentment and anger, I look back and I'm grateful. And also I'm grateful that I made the choice to get into that relationship. I think there was a part of me that intuitively knew it was the right next step for me to be in that relationship. And sometimes we need to learn lessons. And even though we know it's not the final ending point in our specific journey around something, I knew that he wasn't going to be my life partner, my single life partner. I knew that from the moment I met him. And I went into the relationship anyways. And I allowed myself to fall deeply, deeply in love with him anyways. And I went through a lot of pain anyways. And I really think that one of the greatest gifts from it has, it's been one of the greatest blessings of my life. My trans journey and my masculine embodiment is better than anything I ever could have imagined for me personally. And this is my story. I just want to paint it out for y'all. So it's okay to make choices that are not our final ending point. It's okay to make choices that lead us into situations that we feel pain from, that we feel resentment around, that are hard for us, right? That was not the only relationship or situationship that I entered into knowing there was a pattern that I was living out. There was something that wasn't right about it. And I allowed myself to go in anyways so that I could learn the lessons. The point of intimate relationship is not just to cuddle and fuck and have a good time. We all know that. The point of intimate relationships is to grow. And a lot of times that's growing in ways that are difficult, but that we would not be pushed to grow if we were just chilling alone. Am I right? I'm right. So with that, my friends, I'm feeling crystal clear. I'm feeling grateful, feeling clear as day. And I hope that this video helped you to get clear and transmit your light. And with that, my friends, I'm out.